And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another live edition of the Roundtable, coming to you from the Worldwide Digital Broadcasting Studios in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada. That's right, we are part of your Thursday. To my far right, simply known as the Mouth, Mr. George Miklos joins us. How are you?
Alive and kicking.
There you. Well, I don't know how well you're kicking.
Right.
You're alive at least.
I survived Billy Idol.
And the man to my right,
Billy Idol survived you.
That's right.
This is between George and I. We're going to call this the Upchurch Cookie.
Oh boy!
Because we had the man in the middle, the best wide receiver, kick returner, speedster, you name it. We're going to put We're going to put the Flash logo right on his chest.
Really?
Mr. Rick Upchurch.
But I'm a Marine.
I didn't want to say
I'm
that.
a Marine today, baby. I'm a Marine.
Don't hurt yourself.
Oh, I have sore, dude. No, everything is good.
Right
man.
on.
Had a great time, good time. You know, I wasn't with you last week. I was at a great event.
Yes, we missed
the Jet Awards. Johnny Rogers, the great Johnny Rogers, Heisman winner.
Sure.
He has a program called the Jet Awards, and what he does, he recognizes guys in college that never got recognized for what they did. Mm-hmm. Never.
Not necessarily on the field you're talking about.
No, I'm talking about on the field.
Oh, on the field.
Gotcha. In the past.
Okay.
No guys got recognized for special teams.
Right.
And so, being the great returner that he was, he decided to put together the Jet Awards.
Right on.
And so every year he brings in the young man who led, the NCAA or over the years was the top return guy. And so he brings them in, gives them an award, but he also does a legacy award. I was a winner of the legacy award back in 2017.
Right on.
And so I go back every year for this.
That's
and
cool.
the funds and the money goes to kids. And once again, you have to go through the process in that whole deal in order for them to go to 2-year school or to a 4-year school and get their education. So
right on.
I'm proud of being a part of this.
That's
really
well, you should. It's a great honor.
Yeah.
Let me remind everybody, first of all, let's say thank you. You're watching us right now on our Facebook page. We appreciate it. If, on the other hand, you're watching us on the WWDBTV Facebook page, we still want to say thank you to you as well. If you're watching us on YouTube, on either channel, our channel or the station's channel, we thank you. However, if you're on the run, oh, wow, it's covering us. That's probably the best picture of the show right there. Anyway, if you are on the go, coming home from work, driving to work, getting the kids, whatever it is, make sure you download the WWDBTV app to your phone for Android, WWDBTV LV for your Apple products. If you missed the whole thing, that's okay. If you have Roku, download the WWDBTV network to your Roku channel. Not only catch the Roundtable, but the multi-platinum level, many tons of shows that you can see here on WWDBTV. And if you want to call us, 702-329. No, I did that again. 992-3207. 702-992-3207. So, John, obviously our friend Patrick has left a huge message out there.
Huge. He covered half the screen.
I'm telling you, if you want to pop it up now, I can read it off my phone here.
He's in a talkative mood.
He is. I love Patrick. Let's see. I did not know of this NFL coach position. The Green Bay Packers assistant coach to player engagement. What are they, in charge of weddings? According to Adam Schefter with ESPN, Derek Coleman has been hired as the Patrick's assistant to player engagement. Coleman, who is a fullback, was the first legally deaf person to play an offensive position in the NFL. I remember this story. Coleman will now help Packers players who want to build their brand and manage finances. NFL player engagement also helps ensure players are being cared for mentally and physically. That's great.
Who was there was a receiver or a tight end for the Broncos that was deaf.
Wasn't there brothers in college not too long ago?
Who was that?
Or one of
I don't know. I have no idea.
I thought, yeah, this is
I'm not sure. I can't
Yeah,
call
I thought
one.
that was that's been a while, 15, 20 years ago. I remember.
Well, the guy I'm thinking of was not that long ago. It was brothers, twins. They both played the defensive line. One of them was deaf, the other was not. And the story was told about how
I'll have
the
to find that
hearing
out.
one
Sure.
helped his brother with taps on the backside or things during the
Right.
play to get him in the right position. So,
Sure. Yeah.
so good stuff. Yeah,
Well, the Raiders
absolutely.
did something similar. There's a new former defensive coordinator for the UNLV Rebels was hired by the Raiders in a similar, some offbeat coaching position that I'd never heard of. So it's something similar to that. So I guess they're going out there and grabbing coaches for not just position or skills coaches,
Right.
but for
Life coaches.
yeah,
Life
that
coaches.
kind of stuff too.
Absolutely.
How
Great.
about them Dodgers?
What about them Dodgers?
I don't follow.
What do you got for that story you
Major League
sent me?
Baseball.
All right. So there was a story that I saw actually on LinkedIn that I shared to you guys in the chat
Oh
room.
yeah.
And let me just quickly bring it up here. It revolves around a former Dodger player, and I'm just pulling up the article, folks, so just bear with me. The Los Angeles Dodgers have re-signed outfielder Andrew Tolis, who has schizophrenia and hasn't
Right.
played since 2018, to give him access to the team's health insurance and mental health services. Tolis is not expected to play for the Dodgers this season, but signing with the team will allow him to continue to receive treatment, including counseling, therapy, and medication.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, folks with issues and those, with the different things that are going on, why should they not have the opportunity to play? We have what? We have the Olympics, right?
Right.
For the handicap, right?
Mhm.
Special Olympics
Right.
for the handicaps.
Right.
So once again, they understand, they can go out, they can compete. We shouldn't allow these type of handicaps to stop them from being able to go out
Right. Do what they like
and
to do.
do what
Well,
they
they
like to do. in their
didn't sign
business.
him to play. They signed him just so he can
Sure.
continue his
That's
benefits.
fair enough.
But maybe someday he'll recover and we'll see him back on the field.
Absolutely.
Now,
We'll
was
see
he a
him.
long-term Dodger that played for years with him?
I
or is
don't
it-
know what his length of service was. We can look that up during the break. But either way, I don't care if he played a year
Right.
or
No,
played
that's
10
fair
years.
enough.
It's a great, great move by the Dodgers to support this individual.
Sure.
And that story fits right in with what was the launch of our show back in August when we were
Right.
talking about
That's
mental
right.
health illness, right?
That's right.
And issues. So that's a great story for the Dodgers. And as a Yankee fan, even I say thank you to the Dodgers. So,
And not only that, overall for our society.
yeah, of
And saying,
course.
hey, let's put all of these things, these stigmas behind us in that deal. And simply because you have issues doesn't mean that you still can't be a productive person
Absolutely.
in our society.
I agree.
Absolutely. After all, look at George. But anyway,
Yeah. Comedy at its finest, and I'm still out of work.
George is an exception. When you gave him a drink, he kind of straightens up. So
yeah, he
it
does.
works
Exactly,
in reverse.
Exactly. By the way, I want to
Jack
give George.
always does
I
it.
want to give George a pop that this Saturday he's filling in for me for Aaron's hour.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
Aaron
Oh, yeah, I
Phillips will
forgot.
not be in studio. He's got
Oh.
another assignment, and so George will be filling in for me. So why don't you share with everybody who your guest is
So
going to
you
be?
said the original guy you asked had another assignment, so I wasn't the first one on the list.
No, I didn't say that. I said
You
Aaron
weren't the
Phillips
last
has
one,
his.
though.
Oh yeah, so
You
yeah.
weren't the last one, right? I
Yeah.
said Aaron
Okay.
Phillips has.
All right,
another-
I just wanted to make sure.
Jeez.
Yes.
Touchy-feely,
I can
huh?
fire you
Well,
right now.
touchy-feely,
Rick, what are you
touchy-feely.
doing on Saturday?
I'm out.
Oh my God!
I'm
You
out.
know what? I can run my mouth real well for about an hour.
Yes, you could. No, yeah. Saturday at noon, I'm going to be guest hosting for Aaron, and I'm going to have my guest, the writer of the Dracula's Death, the film, the guy that wrote the screenplay.
And that's
Because
one-
a month ago I had the director on,
right.
and now that Aaron's actually going to get a small little role in the film, now I can actually.
I'm playing a dead man.
Yeah. Well, no, you're going to be a dead man.
I
No,
will
you're
gonna be a
he's
dead
playing.
man.
He's playing an orderly, a
Yes.
mean orderly in a
Mean-
hospital
oh, mean
in the
orderly.
1920s.
I felt-
But yeah, so
After the show, we're gonna go and have a drink. Okay.
right.
Might be our last.
That's
But
right.
yeah, I have the writer of the script
Very
who
cool.
works with me, and I introduced him to the book. I don't know, 3-4 months ago we started talking
Sure,
about it. I gave him the book. Said, yeah, just from front to cover, read the book, and then transfer whatever you read in the book to a screenplay.
There you go.
4 days later, he called me up. I'm done. I said, done with what?
The screenplay?
Yeah. And I
Oh.
went, what the really? And he sent it over, and I went, oh my God,
Right
it was
on.
brilliant. The guy's a great writer.
Well, it's
He'll
good.
be here Saturday. We'll discuss the film. And
Excellent.
What's his
Absolutely.
name?
R.L.H. Arundel. That's how his professional name. Goes by Rennie.
So,
But I already sent the stuff to
which will be up tonight.
Yeah, which will be up tonight. His professional name. He goes, I can call him Rennie, his name on air, but
Okay.
for professional reasons.
RLH.
Arundel. Arundell.
Did you get
Arundel.
that?
I'll send it to you. But yeah, it'll
Good.
be a fun show.
Absolutely. And then here's the best part. Then they could use it for continued marketing for the movie too.
There you go.
That's
There you
it, because that's it.
That's right. So therefore, I will also not be on Thoughts Count Anywhere. Scott Hosey, our man behind Power Play Sports Collectibles and one of the founding fathers of that show, will be sitting in for me on Saturday. So which means, you know what that means? Those two shows will have the highest ratings of the year without me on them.
You think?
Especially my own show.
You think?
I'm working.
You think,
I'm working on
big
it.
dog?
I don't think.
I don't know.
I got the numbers to back it up.
Well, I'm gonna hit in, man, about 20 times. Okay,
Good.
for you, George.
I don't know how many people watched the last time I hosted it, but I'm hoping it was more than a couple.
George, we're gonna watch you. We're gonna pump you up, big
Good.
dog.
Please
do.
Well, when you see the post tonight, push it along. Anyway,
Yes, push.
Here's what we got going on. First of all, we're going to talk about the cost of childcare nowadays. There was a news story that broke this past week about a school district in Ohio that looks like teachers are going to not be soft targets anymore and will be allowed to carry. So we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But I want to talk a little weather with you all.
Ooh.
Now, here we are in April,
Mhm.
and at this time of year, we usually get crushed with the Santa Ana winds, which is, I think, right around this time. But the winds this year have been ridiculous.
Yes.
All right. So I got to imagine hay fever, allergies, asthma, all of it. Thank God. I mean, I suffer what I call allergies when the temperatures change,
Right.
like from hot to cold and then from the cold to the warm,
Right.
but not a true allergy like from peanuts or stuff. But
Have you ever been diagnosed with an allergy
No.
or a tree, dandelion trees
No.
or whatever the hell?
nope.
Me neither. So I don't know. But I sneeze too, I guess, when the wind blows
Sure.
or something
That's just the dust
comes
and
your way.
everything.
Yeah.
Right.
But asthma, of everything I talked about, though, is a real medical condition
Right.
that days like wind or
Could
even
be.
high heat and
Can be rough.
humidity,
It doesn't matter what it is.
right?
It could be a bug.
Right.
It can be mold. It can be lightning.
Oof.
It can be a thunderstorm. It can be anything that can trigger. You have different
Right.
triggers
Oh, yeah.
for asthma.
That I didn't know.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
what would by lightning, just for personal education, how is it lightning or
Probably just
rain?
the flash, maybe.
Well, the
Right?
flash,
Static in the
the
air.
static in the air.
Oh, the flash,
Absolutely.
maybe.
The flash and
The flash.
the different
can
flash.
cause an asthma attack?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Because it affects people differently.
Right.
Wow.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I want to bring that up. We were going to talk about some of that today. However, the man to my right and George's left put the kibosh on that because he has a better idea, which we're not going to announce right now, but we're going to try to bring in a special guest to talk about the topic of asthma and the
Absolutely.
extremity of asthma in
Yes.
terms of how it really inflicted his family.
Yes.
So we're going to do that down the line. But to everybody that has an allergy or asthma, whatever, please be careful. Take any medication you need, whether it's an inhaler, because you don't have to have asthma to use an inhaler to control allergies.
That's right.
So whatever you have to do, just please be safe during this time. Listen to your body, watch the symptoms when it comes to all of this so that you will continue to stay safe and healthy.
And you know, really with your children, you really have to watch them
Yes.
and understand, especially when they're out ripping and running
Yep.
and that
Playing
kind of thing,
around.
and playing
Yeah.
around. They might be in the
Absolutely.
grass. And
Right.
remember pollen, man.
Oh,
Right now we're in springtime. The
Yeah.
trees are blooming, the flowers are blooming, and pollen all over the place. Well, with the winds,
right.
it's whipping it up and it's getting after people.
Isn't
for
the
sure.
traditional pollen allergy like hay fever? Isn't
Yeah,
what it
that
is, or
kind of stuff.
something
I mean,
like that?
again, I'm not familiar with.
Yeah.
I know Denise had me out front like Paul Bunyan chopping this fucking tree in the bush. It's gonna bloom. It's gonna get all that stuff's gonna fly all over. So I'm out there,
And on one knee,
yeah, we got it. I did it.
I
I'm
can see him
thinking,
like a
this
top
sucks,
spinning on.
man.
Yes. Chop once and then his leg would just.
I need to
spin
make
around.
some money so I can get some legals over there to cut the trees down and shit.
I'm legal. You want me to come and talk? I mean, I can do
Go stand
that.
on the corner of Star Nursery.
Yeah, I can do
Right,
that.
right,
Yeah,
right.
I got a sign.
But it's funny because my driveway, the side that I park on, the tree that's on our front yard overhangs over my car. Now, it wasn't bad this year, but usually every year, regardless of the color of my car, it turns yellow.
Yeah.
I had a black car one time. That yellow, I looked like a bumblebee.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. Even my car now. But this year didn't seem as bad. I didn't see because right now I got the leaves out on the tree.
Right.
Just wait.
Just
Right.
shut up. Another country heard from over there.
Well, the reason
But-
is because remember you just said it was windy. It's
right.
more windy.
That's true. And a
And
lot
it's-
of rain this year.
A lot
too.
of rain, and so
Yeah.
it settled it down. But that wind, boy,
Yeah.
is moving this
And that's
stuff
why
everywhere.
we're not in the 90s yet.
That's
I mean,
right.
it's coming,
Yeah.
but we should be there already. So
This has been, talk about bipolar weather this year, temperature-wise. 40s one day, 50s the next, 90 the next.
I think
and
it
then
hit
2 days
90
later,
one
yes.
time so
over
far.
last
Then-
weekend,
yeah.
wasn't it? Right?
Remember, we're in El Nino. El Nino means that we're in the hot season,
Yeah.
gang. And boy, it is. They said this is going
Yes.
to be the hottest
Did they really?
that
This
it's
summer?
been. Yes, that it's been. And last year they said it was the hottest. So we'll see. 113 is pretty tough.
115, 120. I guess after that, it just doesn't seem
I
like.
look at it this way, though. If my air conditioner works in my car and in my house, if the pool in my community continues to stay wet, my job, thank God, is not an outdoor job. It can get as freaking hot as it wants to. And I put on a little sunblock. You, sir, you're good.
I'm working
You're all
on
good.
mine. I keep working on mine.
I'm trying to catch
I
up.
lost a little bit.
I'm trying to catch up. But you're right, though. What happens in this town for 3 months, and people who come to visit, or even if they just move here, you think you're hydrated.
Mhm.
No. Just because you're not thirsty doesn't mean you're not dehydrated.
That's right.
So even during the winter time when it's not hot, you still have to maintain your hydration. Just monitor it. And also, we have to live differently during the summer. Don't go out and run for practice at 2 p.m. when
No.
it's 120.
That's
right.
You got to do that 5 a.m. when it's only 90.
That's right.
or at
That's right.
night, right?
Or at 9 o'clock at night.
Right.
Not
When it's
8,
only
but
90.
9. Yeah.
I remember 2-a-days back in military school in August.
Yeah. Oh,
You know, we were doing it out there at football field at
Yep.
7 a.m.
yeah.
You know, and it was humid in Kansas a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we got the salt tablets on
Right.
a little drink break. They would put the hose in front of you for like
Yep.
2 seconds. 1, 2.
Oh, you mean we were able to drink out of hoses back then?
Yeah, can
without
you
it
believe
causing
it?
a national
Right.
disaster?
We didn't have bottled water. We had the hose.
That's
Well,
right.
we were lapping off the ground.
That's-
Coach
Yeah.
is like, hey, man, you guys are thirsty. Get down there and get
Right.
it, man. I'm like, oh, coach.
We have to spare every drop. Get down there and take care of
I
it.
remember I
brutal.
would get a headache if you
Right.
don't drink a lot of water.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're behind on drinking, and sometimes I get a headache.
And that's why
I'm thinking,
construction out here, people don't understand why construction starts at 4 a.m.
and they
per
end
se,
at noon or 2.
and they end it by 2 o'clock
Yeah.
because of that same reason. It's a change of life.
The young lady, her name was Dawn, right?
Yes.
That came on the show.
Dawn Smith.
Yep.
Yep.
And when she was talking about, water and getting water, clean, good water to folks, I was just watching this morning where they have a big program, man, down in Mexico and down in Panama and that area. They don't have water. They don't have clean water. What they have to do is they have to walk about 5-6 miles in order to get the water out of a
Jeez.
spring, and they have to climb up a hill to get the water in that hole and then take it back to their families.
Jack and Jill
Yeah.
went up the hill.
Jack and Jill went up the hill.
That water be gone
And
before I
those
got back.
And
man.
let me tell you
Drinking it.
something, and the way that they
Yeah.
do it, gang, it's just unbelievable. Understand, man, how water is a resource for us, but it's not there for everyone.
Right.
Right.
And the work that they have to do, man, to get that water so that they can cook, so that they can bathe, so they can clean their children, they can brush their teeth. Guys, we got it pretty doggone
I'm
good.
imagining now carrying a big giant long pole with a bucket on each
Yeah.
end full of water.
Well, and you got to
That's what
wear
I'm-
the butt. You carry it across your
right,
back.
Yeah.
right.
But before we go to break, Patrick says what is still bad these days in the San Joaquin Valley in Cali is when they shake the almond and pistachio trees for harvest, and all that dust and pesticides from those trees go into the air for weeks. And then he asks, ever hear of valley fever? Winds stirred up. All right, with that, we're going to come back. We're going to change gears. We're either going to talk about the Ohio situation where teachers can now carry or will look to carry, or maybe some childcare, because that too is a hot topic.
Oh, yeah.
Either way, we're going to cover both at some point. And then America Speaks at the end of the show.
That's
Boy,
right.
George is fired up with more
America
stuff.
Speaks.
You're watching the Roundtable. The three of us will be right back.
Hello, folks. This is Mac Jackson Jr. from Vanderson Cyber Group. The problem with businesses today is that they are affected by cyber attacks from around the world, but companies are not sure of what to do. Normally, they are reactive instead of proactive. But folks, cyber attacks can affect your bottom line, and it will affect you financially, legally, and your business reputation. Here at Vanderson Cyber Group, we can help you develop a policy by training your employees on what to do if they are involved in a cyber attack and how to mitigate it and fight against it. Folks, we call it here #StayCyberWoke. And that's Vanderson Cyber Group here in Las Vegas and around the world. You can reach me, folks, at VandersonCyberGroup.com or my website, MacJacksonJr.com as well. Here locally, 702-868-0808. Give us a call today, folks. We must fight back.
Hi, everybody. Aaron Phillips here, inviting you to join me every Saturday from 12 to 1 p.m. right here on Worldwide Digital Broadcasting TV on my show, Aaron's Hour with Aaron Phillips. I bring to you the movers and shakers of Las Vegas and really all around the world. It's also fun, entertaining, silly, goofy, informative, everything you'd want to be entertained by on a Saturday, except no politics, no religion. As I said, it's designed to be a fun show. Remember, that's every Saturday from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific, right here, Aaron's Hour, Worldwide Digital Broadcasting TV.
Hey.
Oh, welcome back. Thank goodness, because the conversation during the break was really going down.
We're talking about kissing ass.
Well,
Literally.
you were.
Your wife.
Your wife.
Oh, okay. Did I? Okay.
Thank you
yeah,
for watching
okay.
the Roundtable. We are back with more jocularity, as Father Bouquet, he would say, that we could shake.
Is
Jocularity.
that what he used to say?
Yeah.
One of my favorite TV shows
Love,
of all
I
time.
still watch it
Ever.
every day.
Yep.
All right. It's on the WE channel, I think it is, or the WE and
One of
Emmy,
the, one of the
MeTV
best
in the
written
morning.
shows
Absolutely.
ever.
All right. Which way you want to go first, Ohio, or you want to talk about childcare?
Let's go to Ohio.
Ohio.
Yeah,
Let's
well,
go
that's
to
why
Ohio.
I picked the story mainly because Rick being
Well,
from
let's
Ohio.
go for it. You got the story? Let's
Well,
see.
real quick, I was
Yes.
just as we all know, teachers now are going through a lot of hell with their students, and I guess in Ohio, I don't know if it's passed yet, but they're going to it's in the Senate, in the state Senate, to pass a law where teachers in Ohio school systems can be armed in case of something happening in the classroom. I'm torn in between it. First of all, it starts at home. The kids should be taught how to go to school. I remember when I went to school, whenever I got in trouble, boy, the student teacher conferences, parents would come in, and my mom and dad, they would tell the teacher, "Don't worry, Mr. and Mrs. Teacher, we'll take care of this when we get home." And I was shaking like a leaf. Nowadays, it's, "What the hell are you doing to my kid?" I mean, it's the total opposite now.
Sure.
And that's why teachers today, they have to, whether it's being armed because of a student that's in their classroom or somebody comes on campus that's not supposed to be there and starts shooting everybody. Part of me is torn between the whole thing. So I don't know. I mean, it's just.
For me, I understand it.
Mhm.
I understand they want to be able to protect themselves if someone comes in. But once again, are we going to have the Wild Wild West? You have someone, because listen, I ask people, if you were to go back and catch a punt, how would you feel? How do you think that first punt when you catch it and you look down and you see a bunch of people coming after?
I'd be questioning, what the hell am I doing?
You're going to panic. You're going to panic, and things are in your mind are just going to go blank.
Right.
I'm telling you what I know.
Right.
So what about if someone enters the school and that individual comes to that room with a gun, and all of a sudden it's the Wild Wild West? And now the teacher, man, is saying to herself, "Oh my gosh, what do I do? What do I do?" That's going to be my issue and problem.
Right. You freeze up.
You freeze up, or you just start shooting, or you just panic
Right.
with a gun in your hand.
When we all say, "Oh, well, if they ever came in my school, I'd be out there." How do you know what you would do?
So
Would you be the hero, or would you freeze up? Oh my God! All of a sudden, your life
Right.
flashes in front of you. Your wife at home, or the kids at school. You're like your own
Right.
kids, your own
Right.
life. You're, oh my God! Should I go for it?
So let me have you guys been in any of the newer schools here in Clark County at all as of late?
I have not.
Not recently,
Okay.
no.
So the newer schools, the doors are solid steel.
Okay.
Okay. The walls are not. Some are brick. If it's a newer building, they have the brick outlay. Okay. During what's called a hard lockdown, because the schools are drilled twice a month on two of the drills, hard, soft, or fire drill.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So let's talk about the situation where gunman comes in. That'll be flagged as a hard lockdown.
Right.
Doors are to be locked from the inside.
Right.
Doors now, as a matter of fact, due to everything, as of this year, the school district said teachers cannot keep the door handles unlocked anymore, nor can they prop them open.
Right.
Okay. So they've taken that step. The kids and the teacher are to get down on the floor, silent, quiet. Okay. Now, hopefully at that point, if a gunman were in the building and they don't hear any noise or see anything, they'll keep going, and those kids in that area
Do they have metal detectors
No,
in school?
not in my elementary school, although I do believe there are some high schools are in town that might have,
Right.
I believe, okay? Not 100%, so don't quote me on that. But now take that scenario. Now, as a teacher, to protect themselves, okay? In order to even have a weapon of any kind, you have to be certified to carry it.
That's
Right.
And of course, you have to legally buy a weapon.
That's right.
Okay. Now, will a handgun, even a 9mm, take out an AK-47? Only if you shoot first, perhaps,
Right.
and get a couple of good shots
Right.
in first. So my point is this, and this just opening this up as part of this discussion. Is it out of the question that they only allow teachers in Ohio to have protection if they have a legal gun and are been certified to carry, not illegal arms, not have a gun illegally,
Right.
but be trained and certified almost as a first responder would in scenarios.
Right.
Because I'm going to tell you, a person who's got a gun outside a room somehow breaks in, they have no clue as to whether a teacher has a weapon or not. So the element of surprise
Right.
should be on a teacher's side if, God forbid, in a lockdown. Now, the other thing with that is you don't know what children in their backpacks in said classroom may have a weapon with them. Therefore, the element of surprise is in the kid's favor.
Right.
And unfortunately, as is that teacher back east, the 6-year-old, that elementary teacher, the mom accordingly, who the gun was legal, it was a legal gun, she was certified, but apparently she was suffering from depression. Therefore, the gun was left unattended. Hence, the 6-year-old was able to get the
Grabbed it.
gun. Okay. That's an extenuating circumstance in a way. But as a teacher, if they're certified and they legally own a gun and they take in training, and maybe there's something with the certification school that they have to get authorization with the school, whatever it is, does that change the outlook for teachers to be armed to protect themselves and the students in their class if they're legally trained to carry a gun?
Yes. For me, it's yes.
Okay, let me get John real quickly,
Okay.
and we'll come back to that. John?
Okay, I got a couple of questions.
Okay.
Number one, who pays for the training? Number two, who pays for the gun? Number three, who pays the teacher's time to go through and do all of that stuff?
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
School district?
I'm going to put my 2 cents in on that in a second, but I wanted you to finish your thought.
My thought is, I think yes. I think they should have them. And once again, I think the county, the school district, if that's what their rule is going to be,
They should pay for
they should pay for it and make
Who,
sure
the school?
the school
district.
or
Pay-
the school
pay
district
pay for which part of it?
all of it.
pay for all of it. I'm talking about all of the licensing, the gun, all
The
of those
training.
things, because they want them to carry the guns in their school.
Well, they're
and in
giving them
their
the
school
option to carry it. They're not telling them they must. They're giving them the option.
Now,
to
what
arm
about
themselves.
teachers that they feel like they don't want to be armed and teaching. They wanted to go into teaching to teach children.
Sure.
They didn't want to be
Well,
armed.
presumably every teacher
So-
wants to do that.
Right.
And that's all right,
Right.
that they can do
Sure,
that.
sure.
But as
They'll
far
lose a lot of teachers.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Teachers that don't want to be armed and they want to have to go through the hassle because of it. Good, solid teachers.
they're
are gonna
losing
say,
teachers
"Forget it."
already.
Right.
That's
That's
true.
not even
Well,
on top of
let
it.
me
yeah.
take, and you know what? I agree with that in a sense. Now, you're a teacher next to me. You have a weapon to protect yourself
That's right.
and your class.
Yes.
I'm a teacher next to you. I chose not to get armed.
Okay.
All of a sudden, there's a gunman in the school.
Yes.
Do you not think I'm sitting in the room next to me saying, boy, I hope Rick bags them before they even come to my classroom?
That's right. That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Survival. I
Yes.
hope Rick gets them first and Rick takes care of them before they even come knocking on my classroom.
That's right. You know why?
And I don't have the gun.
The reason I say
What
yes.
if he's coming from the other direction?
Then I'm shit out of luck.
Yeah, the reason I say yes is that if you go through the training, you'll understand when and how to use this thing.
Correct.
You've been trained just like if you're in the military,
Right.
Yeah.
right? If you have a teacher, man, that doesn't have a gun because they choose not to go through the training,
Right.
certainly they're not going to want to have a gun in their hands because either they're afraid of it,
Right.
they're not confident in using it,
Right.
any of those type of things. I think, just me, that someone in that school needs to have protection, legally have that protection.
I think retired.
Snipers.
Well, I was going to say retired law
Ralph
enforcement,
Nader.
retired law enforcement, and retired military. Or
The problem is somebody
They
has to
should
pay
be-
for them.
Yeah.
And the school budgets don't allow for that.
That's right.
Otherwise, there'd be security or CCSD police just talking about our
Can't
school.
pay a couple of guys $20 an hour.
They can't pay
8 hours.
teachers
No,
enough.
stupid.
They can't pay
It's
teachers
ridiculous.
enough. They can't pay
We're
subs
out.
enough.
And well, Clark County too. They're one of the bottom. One of the richest cities
Well,
in the
that
world.
you can blame the
but they're
casinos.
like
You
a
can blame the
number-
casinos for that
Yeah.
because they're not putting their fair share in. But that's a
And
whole
the
nother topic.
marijuana.
Well, that's what started the whole thing with Brian Sandoval.
Mhm.
I still am calling for a forensic audit on every dollar since those marijuana sales. God damn it!
That's right.
Because it was Governor Sandoval and when all that started, John and I were in business. We owned our internet station. The problem with that is at the end of that first year, Governor Sandoval took all that money out of the education budget. We're talking tens of millions of dollars in
did
1
what?
year. He put it into the rainy day fund so that
on a rainy day.
the spaghetti bowl, remember the spaghetti bowl going through all that reconstruction 10
Right.
years ago?
Right.
That's where
It
the money
still
was
looks
spent.
like a bowl of pasta.
Well, that's true. So let me go back to John's question about pricing and paying.
Mhm.
Okay. He asked three cost-effective questions. If I as a teacher choose, you know what? I want to protect myself. I go out and buy my gun. Me, because every gun handles differently. I'm not, maybe the school says, or the district says, okay, up to $500 value, we'll give you $100. That's okay. If not, no big deal, because the choice is mine to arm myself
Right.
with a weapon of comfort.
Mhm.
So from that standpoint,
If it's a choice.
right.
Right.
Well, I'm presuming it will be. I can't
Right.
see them mandating this,
Right.
but if it's my choice and I choose to arm myself, I'm paying for the gun. Now, training, if I want it, depending upon where you live, okay, state of Nevada, you can carry so long as you have a concealed carry weapon permit.
Mhm.
Okay?
Mhm.
If I live in a state that allows me to carry concealed
Mhm.
safely and everything,
Mhm.
okay, I have to get the concealed training anyway if I want to carry the gun.
That's right.
Even if it's into school.
That's right.
I have to pay for it. In
That's
my opinion, I'm paying for that second. The third thing, additional certification to verify that I'm allowed to carry a gun within the school district. If a certification or something, a course
Mhm.
has to be done
Yeah.
to prove to your school district or whatever, then I would expect the school district to pay for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the way I would break down
I
the
agree.
cost, right? I mean,
I agree.
and I
agree
have
with
to
that.
say this, I've never said this publicly, and I'm probably going to get shot by my wife when I get
Oh
home.
boy.
I am, after all that, yeah, really. Sorry, honey.
Don't hurt him, please.
But with all this stuff with Black Lives Matter, Antifa, and all that stuff that was going on here, my wife was in Colorado dealing with her father. I was in my house alone, and I was watching what was going on at CNN, and I'll never forget, they were standing between two buildings, and these people were outside throwing rocks at the glass. This reporter was behind the line of security, and when they threw a firecracker through after finally putting a hole in the glass, and it went off, this reporter said, they all ran. He said, I want to go home and see my family. I'm out of here. That's when my wife and I started discussing arming ourselves. I am a concealed weapon certified person. I have coverage and protection. I don't carry, but I can.
Yeah.
But I have it at home for protection.
I got
So you have your own weapon then?
Yes.
Because from my understanding in Nevada, you have to purchase your own weapon before you can even go get trained.
That's correct.
You have to own your own
That's
weapon
correct. Because you have to be trained on your own weapon.
Sure.
Man, if I had a classroom and I was a teacher and this is my desk and I got 30 students walking in, I'm like fucking Rambo. I got the AK-47 on the table.
Can you imagine him
I've
walking
got
in?
two
I can see
knives
him looking
right
like the
here.
Mexican guy with the strap of bullets.
Right, and this is an English class
I
too.
have a-
Sit down.
I have a flamethrower.
He's got a flame.
Yeah, you sit it on the desk.
No, but seriously, so yes, you have to buy your weapon.
Right.
Okay.
Obviously, in the state of Nevada, they do a background check,
Sure,
FBI
of course,
fingerprints,
I
so
hope
they're not
so.
right.
Right.
So they're not giving it to anybody. The gun has to be certified. Now, it would only make now. Did I have to go get the certified training? No, because if I don't plan on carrying, if I just plan on putting it in my safe at home, I don't need a concealed weapon.
That's right.
But we did, because you never know. There's 30 some odd states in this country that reciprocates with carrying concealed. So if I travel somewhere and I want to take it, I can.
That's
right.
Now, the other thing, we didn't just wake up one day and say, hon, let's go buy a gun today, like on a food shopping list.
Right.
No.
One of my wife's teachers at the time, her husband works for Metro. And when we started talking, the family invited us up to their house. And I'm telling you, as a Metro police officer, if he didn't have 3 dozen sitting on the dining
course.
table, he didn't have one.
Right.
And he sat down with us, discussed every weapon, features, benefits, let us touch it. Then with them,
Mhm.
the very first time he took his guns with him, We went to a shooting range to feel what it was like
Mhm.
and to test guns. Not everybody's going to do that, but we did because our purpose was for protection.
Right.
I'm not looking to go out like the old West and
So
shoot
I
at
didn't
somebody
shoot
because
too?
they talk on my
Or they look at you
right.
wrong.
They look at me. That's not what I want to do.
Mhm.
But if they come into my house,
Sure.
fair game.
Sure.
And
Absolutely.
both of us
Both of you.
are protected.
Absolutely.
Now, ask me this question 5 years ago. If I ever thought we'd be protecting ourselves, let me tell you, you know how many times in our lifetime my wife and I talked about it and we said no. Why? One of it, I had kids in the house.
Right. How many times have you guys gone out training or just?
Oh, we just actually, ironically, Easter Sunday, we
So
went
you
out.
guys both have good aim, good shoot.
Well, we hit the target.
Oh,
No,
that's-
yes. Yeah, we would do some damage. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. Even with children in the house, my grandfather and grandmother, they had shotguns.
It
They
was
had
different.
shotguns, 22.
It was
They had
different
all
back
that.
then, though. The kids were different. We respected.
We had
Don't
BB
touch
guns.
this, son. Don't touch. Yeah, but we respected your grandparents' firearms. You wouldn't go out and say, "Look, Mikey." You didn't do that. We didn't do that. We didn't have that mentality.
Well, back in Toledo, Ohio, they did. Because once again, you're talking about different areas.
And you also
whether
have
it's-
hunting areas.
Yeah,
up there where, right?
Well, we
or
were
even in
taught
the
how to-
city. Or even in the city. When
Right.
the city was more violent than it was out in the sticks.
Right.
Right?
John, did you have something? Or are you just standing
Yeah.
to straighten your pants?
No, moving the furniture around.
Okay.
I just want to know, as a gun owner, who
Great.
are the three of you
Why
all?
don't you grab your mic?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, what
yeah.
kind of professional
I know you.
operation?
You only
I'm a
run the
gun
studio.
owner.
You
I got
only
all-
run the studio. Go ahead.
All right. Of the three of you, raise
Yes.
your hand if you own a weapon. Okay. Of the two of you, since you owned a weapon, how many times have you thought about going and getting that weapon because somebody pissed you off or pushed you to the limit? Not went and done it, but thought about it.
That's why I don't know.
One time.
I can honestly say I've never thought about it.
That's why I
Nope.
don't know.
Swear to God on my mother's life, John.
One
John,
time I did.
I'd be in prison. That's why I don't know one.
We'll talk after the show.
I did one
Not
time.
publicly anyway.
Yeah.
I did one time because once again, when someone comes to your
Right.
door and starts threatening
Sure.
you and that old deal,
Well, that's
you're
different.
saying to yourself, well, if you want to come up in here,
Right.
you know,
that's
there's
different.
yeah, there's something for
I
you.
agree with that.
Because you
Yeah.
created a situation. But
Right.
if you're watching news or something and you see a story,
Sure.
it's like, oh my God, you know what? I would just go down there and take the son of a gun out because he did something erroneous.
And that's why I don't own one,
Oh, well, that's fine.
because I would be the one guy that
I
on
never
the news.
thought.
You went
Well, you can
downtown
take a
and-
knife or a stick. You remember the guy, man, out in
I prefer
California?
that.
He died because he got stabbed in the heart. You can use a knife.
I think it's harder to kill someone without a gun. You have to work at it when you're using something other than a firearm.
If you're
When
close
you're
enough to
beating with
some,
somebody, you got to sweat, right? Pull blood all over you. You got to work for it.
but if you're
With a
close
gun, you don't have to. You can shoot somebody from
but if you're
10
close
feet
enough to
away.
somebody, one good stabbing in the body, one and you're done.
It doesn't matter. And the thing about it, I could come up to you, George, and say, George, I love you, man, and I can stick you.
Fucking
So,
Bronco,
I mean,
the
so-
Denver Bronco. I knew it.
Well, you know what? I've always wanted to.
Caesar.
I always wanted to get a
Right.
Raider. Damn it!
Ask Julius Caesar. That's a great point.
Right.
Look, we're not going to solve this, you know, but it's a great conversation.
It is.
But the thing about it, to me, I think the teachers. This is just me.
Yeah.
Once again, if they go through the certification, and if they do all the things that are right and necessary to protect these children, because I don't want to hear about my grandchildren.
Right.
I don't want to
Right.
hear about your
That's the
grandchildren
last thing.
dying in that whole deal, and we've had enough of it.
Mhm.
And I think, once again, if folks understand that these teachers are now going to arm themselves, they're going to think twice that this is not a soft target anymore.
Last week at my own school, last Friday, I heard about this when I came back into school this week. Last Friday, outside where the kids get picked up, outside where the kindergartens are released, there's different gate openings for the different grade levels. Okay. Sidewalks are public domain.
Right.
They don't belong to anybody.
That's right.
However, on the sidewalk, right where all the classes come out, especially the kindergartens, from what I understand, two fathers got into it. Where one allegedly from witnesses, one of them brandished allegedly a weapon
Oh boy.
on the sidewalk in front of the school where kids were coming out. Now, fortunately, no shots were fired. None of that happened. The school could not necessarily, like the teachers could not step in per se because it was on public sidewalk. It wasn't on school
ridiculous,
property.
God. It really is.
But stuff happens and you don't know. You just don't know. I'm not saying I'm not saying I would ever think to bring in to a school. I'm not saying I would do that, but I'm saying it's all about the right and the option. And if Ohio passes this, I think in a way, especially, well, I can't further that thought because I don't want to, but if I'm given at least the option to do that, it's still my call whether I want to do it or not. And if I don't, like I said, and I know a teacher over here and a teacher over here and a teacher over there around me has a weapon to protect themselves, I'm going to be saying, man, I hope they get them before they come knocking on my door.
What bothers me is the parents, the two guys, right in your right mind.
Right.
Would you be getting in a beef when you're picking up your kids from a school?
I had it happen at
What
an
the
intramural
hell are
basketball game when I lived in New Jersey on a
Calm down
Saturday.
and walk away.
You know, it happens.
Meet me out at the park.
Everybody's on edge today, guys. Everybody's
Absolutely.
angry, mad about this. It might have been their job. It
Right.
might have gotten
You
into
don't
an
know.
argument about their wife.
Yeah.
You know, they might be having a mental issue, man, and that they didn't take their medication. So there's a lot of things that go into this, man.
Correct.
And you got to make sure that these folks who have the guns, they go through the rigors, man,
Right.
and that they're clean and they're able to, you know, have these guns in their hands, guys. That's just me.
Right.
And the NRA is digging it.
Yeah,
Of course they are. Well, it's money.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, wait, when
And
Barack
the more you can make people afraid, the more money you can make.
when Barack Obama was hired, there was over 600 million AR-15 sold that year.
Yep.
So what does that tell you?
600 million.
600 million.
Are you sure? That
I
number
look
seems
it
a
up.
bit
All you got to
outrageous.
do is look it up.
That's
and
two for every American
you
citizen.
look it up, man. Do you know how many AR-15s that are out here, man? I just talked to a guy, man, that's got 5 of them. So, hey, bro, hey, man, I'm telling you, people, that was the gun of choice.
Maybe they got a
because,
volume discount.
yeah, man, yeah, man.
All right, we're going to step aside for a
Don't
break
take my
early.
word for it.
No,
Right
I
now?
believe it's
Right now.
600 million.
Well,
even
in
if
about
the
a
number was
second or two when I
300
do the
million.
closeout.
That's why.
As you can tell, this is a great topic, and we may continue it on the other side of the break before America Speaks, or we may shift gears.
America
talking
Speaks.
about child care. Either way, we're going to keep chatting. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
This is the story of one man's incredible journey from 350 to 200-pound weight loss and his mission to help and inspire others. Aaron Phillips. People are praising Aaron's new book with 5-star reviews. Aaron's various humorous and wildly entertaining stories portray his rise as a sports announcer, his encounters with exotic and irregular entertainers on the Las Vegas Strip through his long-running Vegas Unwrapped radio show, and his contagious and positive style of pursuing success. Call now or visit our website or Amazon now to get your copy of Let My Voice Speak to You, stories from a Hall of Fame radio personality. Order now.
I think it's long enough. We can.
All right, welcome back to the Roundtable. I'm surprised the chat room is not blowing up with thoughts and comments. Remember, if you're watching us on YouTube, you also can put your comments in there. We will get them. John will get them through the network, and we'll be able to share those as well. Or call us. Even though we don't have our headsets up here, we'll try to hear you. 702-992-3207. Love to know what your thoughts are about teachers being able to carry, but laws have to change, because here in Clark County School District, there are signs, very visible signs, that talk about no firearms allowed anywhere on campus. That's here. Now, I don't know if Ohio, they have, I mean, I'm presuming they have those laws. I'm presuming they have signs, but those things would have to change as well. And I don't know if it's just a state law that'll have to change, or a district law, or a county law. I don't know what the steps would be for Ohio to pass this, but there's got to be some multiple steps to
Yes.
get it approved.
I would think district in your district, that law has to be put in place,
Mhm.
because every district is different. They're going
Right.
to have different opinions
Right.
about this whole deal,
Mhm.
carrying the guns in schools and that whole deal. For
Right.
me, I think everybody right there, just like state rights,
Yeah.
over federal rights and that whole deal.
Mhm.
Every state is different. And so I would say every district, man, would sit down and say, look, guys, this is how we're going to do this. These are going to be the laws in our district and that whole deal. Now, when you go outside your district,
Mhm.
that's going to be the problem.
Right.
That's going to be the
Right.
issue.
Do they have the high schools here have rifle teams like the military school? I mean, we had
I
rifle
don't
teams.
know, but I don't
What do you think
remember.
this is, Texas?
Well, I mean, you
Or
know,
like a color guard where half the squad had the flags and the other half had the pretend rifle.
pretend. Yeah, no, we had rifle teams where you had,
Right.
you know, the competitive shooting.
I can honestly say I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question, but I would be interested in knowing, George, on the article of what we're just talking about, if that's a topic we have maybe some comments on. If you can find it, that might be a good topic to continue on with America Speaks here.
about the Ohio.
The Ohio thing.
Yeah,
I'm wondering-
yeah. Let me see.
So you check into it because I think that would be one of the great topics to continue furthering along.
That would, and one of my topics was part of the gun
Okay.
BS also that's going
Perfect.
on.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So let me see if
It's
I can.
a hot. Oh, Patrick is questioning. Are you thinking ROTC?
Well, yeah, I
But
went
high
to
schools have ROTC.
well, I went to a military school. And we had a rifle team, competitive rifle
Right.
team. We had shooting for all of us during. We had a special class, but then we had guys
Right.
that were on a rifle team that were great shots.
That were competitive.
and they didn't break into the armory and start killing everybody.
Right.
You know, it's just a different it's a different mindset.
Well, sure. Again,
It starts at home with parents, and it's different. My parents
Right.
today would be horrified at today's parents. They
Right.
they would.
But-
There's no comparison.
But remember, social media plays a big part in
I
that.
agree.
You know, once again, I understand that there were killings back in our day,
Absolutely.
for sure.
Mhm.
They were everywhere. But we didn't get it readily. We didn't get it quickly. Social media has changed it where we get all of these actions so quickly in that hotel. Wow, we didn't know that happened.
Right.
I mean, it was on back in our day. It was almost like Pony Express.
Yeah, it'd be
A
3
week
4
later,
weeks
yeah,
you
before
find
we
it.
understood
Right.
and saw what was going on. Now, boy, social media, all you got to do is hit that button.
That's right. Because everybody that owns one of these is a newscaster.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's true.
That's there was a situation I think last week where two high schools here in town, they were having a fight after school.
Right.
The father of one of them shows up, and instead of breaking up the fight, he got involved and started kicking the kid his son
Of
was
course.
having a fight with while the kid was on the ground.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Now
of
he's
course.
been arrested, but how do we know this happened? Because people recorded it on their phone
That's right.
instead of trying to break up the melee in the first
That's
place
right.
before the father even got there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So these have turned us into reporters that we have no business being reporters. We have the right and should be getting involved to protect our fellow man, friend, human, whatever it is. That's our job, not recording it saying, oh, this is great for my social media content.
Come on.
It was
That's right.
easier back in the day when a teacher had to break a fight with two guys that were throwing punches in the schoolyard. It was easier to get involved.
Mhm.
Now, some people and some teachers too are included, and parents
Mhm.
are afraid to get involved because you don't know when some kid
Or more kids get involved.
Yeah,
now
I
because
mean-
I totally
Or the
agree.
parents.
Or the
Yeah.
parents get involved,
Right.
and now the teacher's the problem.
Right.
Back in the day when I was coming up in school, let me tell you, I was the problem, and the teacher
Right.
was always right.
Always.
And I believe in that. I really do. Until we sit down and speak about what happened, the teacher is always going to be right.
Mhm.
Not only that, my child, honestly and truthfully, guys, my kids, when they went to school, I made sure that they weren't cutting up because I was taught the same way.
Mhm.
My job is to be there to go to school, get an education, and be a productive person in our society.
My kids had no choice. When you have an educator under your own roof, your kids have no choice in the
Absolutely.
first place.
Yes, man.
Uh,
It's crazy to me that now in this time that we have to be afraid to send our kids to school
Right.
for the simple fact that it's a soft target and someone wants to go in there and harm them.
Right.
It's just evil.
Okay, as
I-
far
I-
as
Do you have some stuff?
well,
Oh, okay.
there's no comments on this particular subject, so I was going to throw it out there. We can discuss it now before
Okay.
the America Speaks thing. But the Ohio governor, Mike DeWine, signed a bill on Monday allowing teachers to carry guns in class after 24 hours of training, over opposition from teachers and a police group. Backers say the policy will make schools safer, but critics say that's not the case. So,
Does it dictate in there what 24-hour training
Yeah.
would entail?
well, it says instead of more than 700 hours of training that's currently required,
For what?
school staff who want to be armed would get training that shall not exceed 24 hours. It doesn't really go.
Oh, no. So 24 hours of training,
Training.
not within 24 hours.
No,
But 700
shall not
hours?
exceed.
I got that. What
Instead
is
of
that?
instead of more than 700 hours of training that's currently required, school staff can do it with 24 hours of
Required
training.
for who? What kind of position has to have 700 hours? Does it say?
No, it doesn't. It just says
I
instead
mean,
of more than the training
Police,
that's currently,
maybe I could buy
currently
that.
required. That's probably what it is.
Because out here to get a concealed weapon ain't no
700 hours, that would take forever. And if you're a
One
teacher,
day you sit in a classroom, you get your book training, you pass the written test,
That's
then you
right.
break for lunch and you end up over at the shooting range at
and
the
that's
target.
it.
And if
Well,
you
that
hit the
sounds
target
like what's this?
in a certain number of shots.
Merry Christmas.
That's right.
You're in.
And I
Yeah.
still have that target at home.
I know that's right. This is long. I don't get behind it. I'm good.
Well, there's 18
Leave me out of
states.
that one, dude.
18 states allow school authorities to carry.
Okay. Well, there is precedent.
Yeah.
There is precedent. If 18 states still
Yeah.
have authority for teachers to carry, I bet you most of them are in Texas.
Right.
I would say yes. Oklahoma,
Right? Yeah.
Tennessee.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
South.
All right.
Yeah, especially Tennessee.
We can maybe we pick up this topic again next week. Good stuff. We have a whole child care stuff we're going to talk about the cost. I found the article that covers Nevada, this site.
Yes.
You can plug in a state. So I have Nevada numbers, but it is time. We're going to put that aside to next week because it is time now for America.
America.
Speak.
Right, George.
We love George. We love George. We love George.
That sounds like I didn't hear that when I ran for president.
I know, see?
I heard the others. I heard the
See how we love you, big dog?
I heard the
You
others.
should have had us on your campaign, dog.
He did. He was on
2020.
my Vegas Eruption.
That's right.
okay.
See what that
And
did
John
for
was
us.
in the room. He was in.
That's right. John filmed it. That's still under my Vegas and Rap page
Yeah, I
on
know.
YouTube somewhere.
I pulled
I wanna
up a
see it,
couple
guys.
months ago, a month or so ago.
I want to see it. I'm gonna have some popcorn and a big gulp as I watch it.
That's it.
You'll be finished with the popcorn and gulp before we get into.
Oh,
the
okay,
next one
okay.
Right.
All right, go ahead, George. Take it away.
America Speaks. This is a segment where you, America, get to speak your mind. I pick a subject or two and we go into the comment sections and we see what people have to say about certain things and we're going to discuss the comments. Again, this is for you, America. It's not about me, Aaron, or Rick. It's about you. I've been following this story for a while. You guys don't care about it until I bring it up. But actor Alec Baldwin got off today. They dropped the 2 charges against him for reckless endangerment. He's not going to, there's no trial, no nothing.
Mhm.
So, that being said, I know Alec Baldwin's his reputation is not that great, but we've got a lot of
Who
people.
dropped the charges?
The prosecutor, the county in New Mexico,
So basically, there wasn't enough evidence to.
Right.
to do anything. They didn't really say. So you got Truthful 895 5 minutes ago. Everything about this is wrong, from the investigation to the prosecution to the charges being dropped.
Okay.
We've got Kick Ass Texan. Okay, here we go.
There's a surprise.
More New Mexico, right? Kick Ass Texan, and he uses the A from the at.
Give me some, dog. Give me some.
I don't think I've ever heard John bust out laughing
Right.
like that ever.
I know, John.
Right.
I love to see you laugh, big dog.
Right. It says more New Mexico pandering to the entertainment industry. As another example, in the last few days, $5 million earmarked for soccer facilities for New Mexico young people was diverted away. So who do you think might ask? The local Albuquerque for-profit professional soccer team that wants a new stadium instead has an adequate one now that they can use. So they're just saying that all the money in New Mexico is going to everything else but what it should. I guess Alec Baldwin should have been charged for this. But Pete the Baptist, very interesting. One of only 4 basic rules of firearm safety. Always treat every gun as though it is loaded until you check it yourself. Too bad for Miss Hutchins that Baldwin is too cool for school and spent so much time bashing the NRA when he could have learned a few basic rules regarding tools he would use and misuse in his acting career. That's fair enough. What do you guys think about people are saying stuff about Alec Baldwin? He's another rich Hollywood or another loudmouth Democrat that doesn't practice
Wasn't
what
there
he preaches.
video evidence or some evidence of the actual shooting? But wasn't there a trail though of the prop gun Wasn't there evidence about the gun itself?
Well, like they're saying is and again,
I mean,
I
you've
don't
been
know
on
where.
sets.
Right.
You should know how it works.
What I'm trying to figure out is why they haven't gone. I guess the charges have been dropped against the gun handler too, the woman who was
No,
prop
the prop
master?
master.
No, she still has to go before.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in trouble
Wow.
still.
So
big time.
she's in trouble, but
Yep.
yet Alec Baldwin got off.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense because, again, there was a live round. Where did it come from? Are they going to get the answer from her?
Because
I mean, they
live
were out
ammunition is not allowed on a movie.
at all.
That's
But
right.
from
At
what I,
all, period, done deal.
from
what
what
if she doesn't know?
So
though?
you
Well, she
would
should know.
assume that if somebody hands you a pistol, if the prop guy hands you a pistol, you're going to assume that it is loaded with blank.
right.
Because there's no live ammo allowed on the set.
But the thing about it, didn't some of the guys have the gun?
Yeah, they were out,
And they were out in
during
the
break,
back
shooting beer cans.
and
Yeah.
that whole deal.
Yeah.
And maybe they didn't see the one or two that was still in the chamber.
What's the responsibility of a prop master? Are they supposed to uncock it, look at the chamber, and all that
Yes.
stuff?
And it's
Yes.
always everybody that touches
Yes.
that's their main job, but
Yes.
everybody else is supposed to
So
check it.
worst
once they
case
handle it.
scenario, she could be charged for negligence.
Negligence? Yes. Yes, sir.
Wow. Well, here's
Second
one.
degree?
Prophet 101. He says he got away with murder this time, but he won't get away forever. Alec Baldwin may think he has won the battle, but in reality, he lost his soul forever. Goodbye, Alec.
I don't think he really cares.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's one of those guys that just doesn't go. Tomorrow, 1946. This will go the way of O.J. Simpson. Though Baldwin escapes criminal charges, his attempts to dodge all responsibility will cost him dearly in the resulting civil suit, which there will be one.
Oh, sure.
Well,
But he
guys,
doesn't mind paying out $10 million or so to stay out of jail.
here's my thing. Here's my thing, guys. Honestly and truthfully, everybody's trying to make Alec out like he's not a human being. Everybody's trying to make him out like he's just a bad guy that intended for this to happen, and simply because they don't like who he is, his opinions, and that whole deal, that this is, well, he deserves this, and he's acting like this. I think, honestly and truthfully, the man's heart is hurting. I don't think
sure
for
it
1
is.
second, man, that when he shot that gun and saw her fall to the ground in that whole deal,
He probably crapped the pants.
he probably absolutely.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt about it.
So even with yourself, you would probably sit back yourself and say, guys, you know what? I don't know what happened. This gun went off and she ended up getting, you wouldn't want anybody browbeating you. I don't think you
Right.
would want anybody browbeating you in that whole deal.
But then again, if that happened to any one of us sitting up here,
We'd be in jail.
we'd be in jail.
We-
We
for a
would not
year.
be in the public eye.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so just for me, I think once again, I don't want to be that hard on him. Because, that could have happened to you, Voice.
And
That could have happened to
we
you.
don't have access to all of the evidence.
Absolutely.
Funny
All
you
we
mentioned
know
it.
is what we've heard.
Well,
Funny thing you mentioned. Here's a guy, Scotty B 354. I am a movie and television property master, and I have been there and done this without a single incident for well over 30 years. I'm qualified to handle all types of firearms, from revolvers to full automatic machine guns. Never, ever has a single live round ever been on near my set. I've never lent out a prop for offset use for the cast or crew like they were doing, shooting off of the side there, beer cans. He goes, whether it was a prop gun or a wristwatch, the actor and the entire crew put their trust in the property master handling that item. I have read many of the comments below stating you never point a gun at someone. This is very true. Understand, in Alec Baldwin's situation, he was pointing it at the camera. She just happened to be right
there.
behind it.
That's right.
So,
is it possible those guys who took the guns for that during that break, could they have taken them without her knowing? But they
Of-
should have been locked up, wouldn't they?
they should be.
Right.
As soon as they take them off a set, and I've been on set,
Right.
property master takes them,
Locks everything up.
drops the key down his throat.
Ooh.
So when we have to get back in it, he's got to go to the bathroom first.
Oh boy.
But no, that's what they mean is what they lock that stuff
Sure.
up on Undisputed. I worked on the
Right.
film Undisputed. Remember the Wesley Snipes and Ving Rhames, the prison
Right.
boxing
Yep.
film, and all those guns.
Yep.
I had a couple of friends of mine who got hired to do firearm shooting and stuff. And yeah, as soon as they fired them off, they gave them back to the prop master and they took them
Well,
from them.
just
until the
like
next scene.
in a police scene, there's a chain of custody of evidence.
That's right.
There's got to be a chain of custody for all of this.
I'm sure there is
So-
some of the stuff that we haven't heard, but for whatever reason, they
Well,
settled, and
well-
Alec Baldwin's not going to be.
Well, the young lady, she's the point of interest.
Right.
She was the last one that had the gun. So
Negligence is probably the worst that
negligence-
they can go after her. She didn't pull the
Absolutely.
trigger,
right.
but If it was
But
her,
it was her
but
responsibility.
that's why negligence is
Right.
probably what they're going to talk about for
It's
her.
just like if you,
Unfortunate.
if you had a guest on your show and for some reason the microphone
Blows
was
up.
not de-electrified, they grabbed the microphone and they were electrocuted.
Right.
Would
Just be
that be
careful
your
with the water under your
responsibility?
I know.
No, but it would be
It would
your
be
res-
mine.
right? Wouldn't be ours.
It would
Yeah.
be Miklos, WWDBTV.com.
Absolutely. Well, it was truly
Dead man
unfortunate.
tell no tale.
Unfortunate,
Yes, it was an
and
unfortunate
ordeal.
situation.
And I'm not going to be that hard on Alec Baldwin, and I'm just not.
Yeah.
And,
without knowing the facts.
and not knowing the facts.
And
I just
again,
can't.
I think you're correct, but I think because of Alec Baldwin's past reputation of pushing people around and photographers and
So
calling his daughter a pig.
who doesn't
at
do
12.
that?
Well,
we
I
do.
was
We
that
all
kind of-
do that.
Well, I was just going to say we're almost out of time, but I was going to make a comparison to that. Draymond Green got suspended, and the NBA came out and said because of past action.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
how many-
what you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin has
You're
been,
absolutely
if he had been throughout his life, never got in trouble, was always a nice guy and never punched out a photographer
If he
or
was Ron
call
Howard,
your kid, 12-year-old girl a pig.
if he was Opie,
Yeah, right. There's certain things, again, will he learn
Where I
something
get
from
all
this?
this at?
But I'll tell you one thing, he's back on the set for this movie already
Sure.
this week. They're
I have
filming
no
it.
reason not to.
Money
finish-
talks. Walks,
BS walks.
right?
Bullshit.
Money talks, and I think money and influence was the big thing that got him off.
Absolutely. All right.
That's America Speaks,
There you go.
everybody. We appreciate your comments. Again, we love listening to you and hearing your comments and what you have to say about certain issues, and we'll be doing this every week.
And I do want to say, as a little bit of a disclaimer, we probably should have talked about this before we even started this conversation 45 minutes ago. We're not necessarily supporters of the NRA. We're not talking about gun rights, ownership.
No.
We're talking about items in the news and what our individual feelings are in certain areas of these pieces of interest. So don't send us hate mail because I have weapons. We're not interested in that. We're simply talking about news that's out there,
Yeah.
giving our opinions on it. As Rick has said in the past, think of us as The View, the male version, only we like each other.
That's right.
Again, that comparison, they've had male talk shows that never make it
Mhm.
on TV,
Mhm.
but The View and all these other
Well,
girly
because of the
shows
drama.
always keep them on there. There's another one too, not just the Sharon Osbourne was a host of it.
Yes.
There's another one. They brought in a guy. Who'd they bring in? The actor, what was it, Dylan McDermott,
Oh,
to be
okay.
one of the guys in the show still to get a guy's view in there, but they always get all beat up on. I like what we've got going. I think we
Absolutely.
could make it to the
We
next
can agree
level.
to disagree, right?
Yeah.
And have a smile
No.
on our face.
No.
Wait a second.
No. Oh.
Uh-oh.
What? What?
Oh,
Hey,
my God.
John, bring me my anyway.
See, now, on the other hand, if we brought in a female to join our panel
Yeah.
and she was attractive, you wouldn't hear a word out of us
No.
because we would just be looking.
Let her talk.
That's right. Anyway, all right. With that, God help us all for next week's show. I have no idea, but
Me
we'll
neither.
figure it out by then.
Yes, we
We
will.
may continue this. We know we got childcare to talk about, whatever
Yes.
else. Look, I know George has been chomping at the bit. There's been some transgender news this past week
Oh,
about a
I've
chess
just-
player.
Is he chomping at the bit?
I am.
He's
Chomping
over
at
here
the-
It's not me.
lathered up and everything.
If it wasn't for these people that are doing what they're doing, we would never know. And then I wouldn't have anything to talk about. But
A
it's just in the.
transgender
Oh, you
chess
find
player.
something.
Chess player.
Oh yes,
Wow.
I forgot. Yeah,
Boy,
transgender.
we're just going to
Oh, I
the
got it
next-
for
Dig in the deep of the barrel.
Lord
Real
have
quick,
mercy.
transgender female signed up for a chess competition in Europe, a female chess championship, and won and beat the top two females in chess. That's not
His
even
name
a
was
physical.
Al, but for the
Right,
tournament, she
because
be-
we all know women are stupid.
Oh, send your hate mail.
And
to
he had a
John.
jalava. He had his face covered in a jalava, so they couldn't really tell.
No, but
one of the women
his,
said notice his
his
feet.
real name was Al, but for the tournament, he signed up as Olga. I don't know. You
Yeah,
figure
what
it
the
out.
hell? But he
All
beat
right.
crazy.
We're out of here.
He
We're-
could've
Can't
used
even
a
play
better
board
name than
games.
Olga.
No.
Jesus.
Can't even play board games anymore.
No. Listen, I draw the line at tiddlywinks. Or maybe tittywinks. I don't care.
Jacks.
If I come in here if I come in here one Thursday dressed as a woman, we're gonna, I've thought about it already. We're gonna say, I'm a transgender talk show host.
So we're going to
now."
have a new host. His
Georgette.
Georgette.
Right. The name will be
Georgette.
Aaron, Rick,
And
and
Georgette.
Georgette.
Well, you know
Georgette.
what? I'm bringing the wig, a blonde one for you, okay?
I'm not a true
So you
blonde.
get
Wait a minute. If Georgette makes an appearance, we can't call her the mouth, can we?
You could. It would mean a whole different thing, though.
That's right. Oh my God, we keep digging ourselves deeper. I think John turned us off 10 minutes ago. It was
Okay.
definitely bad. Anyway, Hey, everybody, thank you for watching. A lot of good stuff. Do us a favor. Go on to the Roundtable Show Facebook page. There's a whole comments section there. Put your thoughts on there. Even if you hate us, like us, we don't care. Thoughts anytime. Do it. I double dare that thing. We dare you on YouTube.
And I'll see you
Put it
Saturday.
there. Judge, maybe. I don't know.
Oh.
George will be filling in for me on Aaron's Hour this Saturday. Now, tomorrow, Kiwanis Connects. Listen, we had a great show last week with Justin. He is the 7, soon to be 8-year-old president of Heroes and Hearts. I'll tell you
saw
what,
that.
Wow.
we had such great response.
I did.
Governor
Wonderful.
Val,
We're replaying it.
we are replaying it at Governor Val's request. So that will be re-airing tomorrow from 9 to 10. I'll tell you what, you want to be motivated and inspired to do good? Watch this 8-year-old talk about where this all came from, simply wanting to recognize the garbage men during the time we had COVID. He wanted to thank
That's a
them. And
good
from
kid.
there, he's gotten to South Africa. He's been all over the world
Wow.
to build libraries, recognize people. I double dog dare you to watch it tomorrow, 9 o'clock. Kiwanis Cares. All right. With that, gentlemen, as always, it's been fun. George, final thoughts.
Keep your head above water, guys. We know it's rough out there. It doesn't look like there's anything in sight at the end here. So just keep going. Keep doing what you do.
Folks, when you think things are bad, just look around and people have it worse than you do. Be grateful and thankful.
Absolutely. And in honor of Justin, his closeout saying last week was, be kind every minute of every day. With that, we're off the air. See you next time right here. See what I did there?
I saw
By the
it.
way, I like